Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Catching kind of oracle at the end of this Thursday before Christmas. Ay. Back and forth between the images. It's like Gemini, Scorpio, Gemini, Scorpio, Gemini, Scorpio, Gemini, Scorpio. Back and forth, the weeble wobble, right? Whew. Somebody here is nervous, Minerva. Nervous Nelly. Up in the heezy. I think I'm gonna do Scorpio. Scorpionic energy is very mysterious and dark in nature, even though not necessarily evil. Just everyone likes to assume we're evil and karmic because they can't ever figure us out. And a lot of times Scorpios are very secretive without meaning to be secretive. I mean, we release information as we feel the need to do so arises, and never a minute more, right? There was a video about a recent shooting at a school where the mayor just happens to rip into the press and the community pressing for information they had no business pressing for, in terms of the identities of the deceased from the shooting and stuff like that. And I commend that mayor, because it's everything people with a basic sense of human decency would like for everybody to understand, because a lot of people that don't have boundaries tend to disrespect the boundaries of other people. And then there's those who demand to know everything out of their own trauma. So if they're not trying to exploit the information, it's coming from a place that they need to heal. And I tend to attract a lot of people that have been wounded by somebody with a scorpionic placement. And it's one of those things that makes me real mad, because it's like, I have not done shit to these people to warrant such a thing. But again, it is what it is, and you can't control how people conduct themselves. Because a lot of people operate out of a better safe than sorry mindset, but at the same time, it's by the time they realize I'm not a threat and have no intention of becoming a threat, I am ready to slap the dog shit out of them. I really am. And it's just like, because I'm on a really short fuse. Like, the older I get, the shorter the fuse that is my patience gets. And so on down that line. Okay, on with it. Some of us, Scorpios, are death and transformation, right? The death card in the tarot deck. We are strongly represented by the Grim Reaper, the angel of death, and so on down that line. Scorpios have the 3 ascension phases: Scorpio, Hawk, and Phoenix. The funny thing is when people try to energy harvest, they don't take on the light aspects of the person they are harvesting off of. They actually take off the dark and the negative, which leads a lot of people to get this false interpretation of Scorpios. It's like, well, because this person was trying to copy this Scorpio, then this Scorpio must be really like this. And it's just like, no, that's why you need to get to know the person individually. I've had a lot of people copy me, but the thing is, they end up portraying the dark side in which I am capable of. I just choose not to. And that is a side of me that a lot of people just cannot accept, because they're stuck in their beliefs. But the thing is, if you are so ready to gung-ho hate me, you are already looking for a reason to be against me. And somebody here is just an inch away from finding it, because I had one of my native chiefs from my bloodline up front and center this morning, mad as hell. So it's just like, okay, my name is Bennett and I ain't in it. Handle business. I ain't getting involved. He's got my permission to handle things as he sees fit. I have an inkling why, but at the same time, I'm not going to go into detail about that. Which kind of brings me to this. Be careful who you run your mouth about. You don't know who or what someone's protection is. You don't know the blood that flows in their veins, and so on down that line. It's like the people who want to say I am talking some major shit about my lineage, then explain why that I'm taking more of a red undertone the more my DNA activates. Like, my skin used to not have the undertone of red it did. It had like a light shade of pink. And it's just like, okay, is my skin inflamed? I've done everything I possibly can to keep inflammation out of my body. And no, it's still got that shade of red there. So it's just like, okay. I know where this is coming from, because my sister, oddly enough, she's a little more on the natural brown side of things of our lineage, but she has a yellow gold undertone to my red. So it's just like, okay, it is what it is. But, which brings me to this. Some of us are able to alchemize our energy to be some type of poison for those who try to steal from us in some capacity. It's not intended to harm anybody, but it's just, for Scorpios especially, if you're trying to steal from one in particular, in a way, that poisonous energy is like an automatic attack. It's not meant to be that way, but it only affects the people that seek to steal. They seek to take and or block something. Right? For my fellow bank employees, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about, especially if you work the teller line. That was unnecessary. So there could be an unnecessary disturbance as somebody is listening to this. In the teller line, like, we have all this theft training, robbery, active shooter, and all that jazz, right? I don't know how each branch does their deal, but a lot of times they have the decoy bags of money and stuff like that, but it's got dye in those packs of money. That dye is very hard to get off. Like, it renders that cash useless. You can't use it, can't spend it, can't nothing. It's all over your hands, it's all over your clothes. It is a stain that ain't gonna come off anytime soon. Your clothes, you're just gonna have to chuck them. Somebody's energy is an energetic version of this dye, in a manner of speaking. So when someone tries to come into your spiritual bank to steal something from you, whether it's like your time, money, energy, it's just the fact that they had the audacity to begin with. So that way, when spiritual court goes into session and stuff like that, and the spiritual charges are getting dished out, there's no getting out of what they did. There's no getting out of what they did. The evidence is right there. But the thing is, that dye does not wash out over time. Like, it is a permanent stain. And sometimes law enforcement down here in the physical, like some of these stores and stuff like that, they will let you steal up to the minimum amount for the police to charge you for stealing and stuff like that. Like, there's the misdemeanor and then there's the federal. In other words, they let you get good and comfortable. While some make the big O on the first offense, some were smart enough to do little piece by little piece. But the thing is, it's added up to the point of where they're not going to be able to get out of what they're going to be accused of in spiritual court because, shocker, they're covered in the dye spiritually. And I'm coming up on a traffic jam right as I say this, so guess what? Jig's up. It's over. Some people really are a trap like that. And the funny thing is, everybody is so focused on avoiding the scorpion's tail of a Scorpio, they forget we have pinchers. So while they're avoiding the tail, that gives us a chance to swoop in from right under their nose and grab them with those pinchers. And by the time they realize it's too little too late, here comes that tail and that with all that poison. Think about it. Now, the thing is, a lot of times our protection is not meant to harm anybody. That is not our intention. But when you are invading somebody's privacy, spiritually and otherwise, that's going to be an offense not taken lightly. Because a lot of times folks get hurt because they're being nosy. They want to satisfy their curiosity. They want to expose a person and prove they're a fraud when actually they're just minding their damn business. Because one thing my energy is known for, it is known to make a lot of folks sick if you are in my business and you ain't supposed to be. I'm dead ass serious. But at the same time, I'm very unapologetic about it because it's my job to protect me, not other people. At heart. I gotta protect myself. But the people who get mad at me for protecting myself the way that I do are the ones that have been poking around in my business and they ain't supposed to be there. It is what it is at the end of the day, and with that, everyone enjoy your evening.